Hey there, if you are trying to grow your medical practice and bring in more patients, then this video is for you. As a matter of fact, this whole series, this Foundations video series, this whole series is really for you. It's all tips and tricks and actionable strategies for growing any kind of medical practice. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button or subscribe, depending on where you're watching this video. That way you'll get all the tips and no sales pitches, I promise. So today, what I want to talk to you about really is what people refer to as your online presence. So there was a doctor.com study, and I'm going to try to pull this up for you here. Let me see if I can switch gears. There was this doctor.com study done about a year and a half ago that talked to thousands of prospective healthcare buyers to ask them, what kind of things are you looking at, and what are you looking for, and what is your buying process when you're in need of buying some kind of healthcare related services. And so they came up with a ton of really good insights. And it's something that I like to use a lot because we want to try to be real and focused on the things that really matter, not just on the things that marketing people say you should pay attention to or do or try. So one of the pieces that came out of that study is 63% of healthcare buyers will choose one provider over another because of this strange thing called a strong online presence. And so that obviously begs the question then, what is an online presence? What does that really mean? And so this will help maybe get you focused on some of the right things that you should be focused on based on what real people are looking for. So what is your online presence? Your online presence is your website. People are going to go look at your website. So even if I'm running ads on Facebook and I get somebody to raise their hand and say they're interested, whether at that moment or perhaps more likely at the time it's time for them to come in for a consultation, that's often when people are doing this homework. So if you're having a high percentage of people that don't show up for their appointments, that are no-shows for those consultations, this is one of the first things that you need to be looking at. Because that's kind of the way it works. Remember, we're doing kind of interruption marketing is what I refer to it as on Facebook. People didn't go to Facebook to find a new doctor, a new chiropractor, a new weight loss program. They went to find videos and photos from friends and families and cat videos. And so we interrupted them and said, hey, we have a really special offer we'd like to see if you're interested in. And they said, yes, hey, that's interesting. I'll sign up for that right now. But then they go right back to Facebook looking at friends and family and photos and so forth. So they're not really in research mode yet. But what happens is if they book that appointment, now tomorrow when they get the reminder message, hopefully you're doing reminder messages that says, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you at the office tomorrow. Now you prompt them to think, oh man, I got to go do my research. I got to find out if these guys are legitimate or not. And that is what people are doing. That's what all of this research clearly shows. So what are they looking for? They're going to go check your website out. Is it mobile friendly? I mean, more than half of all the traffic coming to your website today is done from a mobile phone. Everybody just lives on their mobile phones. So one of the first things they're going to look at is your website, and they're probably going to look at it from a mobile device, from a phone. And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't fit correctly, if the fonts are too small to read, if they can't find what they're looking for, if they can't find more description of your services that you offer, maybe some of the bios on your doctors and their experience, are they really qualified? Is this a doctor I really want to trust my health to? All of those things play into this decision whether or not I'm actually going to show up at my consultation. Of course, one of the other things is going to be your online directory listings. We sometimes in the marketing world refer to these as citations, but that's just a fancy way of saying like the online yellow pages versions. And this is something that most doctors don't actually give much thought to and think, nobody really uses the online yellow pages, do they? Yep, the answer is yes, they do. But more importantly, here's what really happens. They're going to go to Google and they're going to type in your name, either the name of your practice or the name of your doctor, and they're going to see what search results come up. And if they see a lot of legitimate looking listings from Yellow Pages and there's sites that are Hot Frog or Doctor.com or WebMD, if you have listings on all of those sites, that really solidifies in their mind that you're a legitimate practice. Because think about the biggest and most successful healthcare or medical practices in your area. You know that they all have all of those listings. They're represented on all of those major sites. So that's what a real and serious healthcare provider looks like. You need to look like that too. strong online social media presence. So we'll talk about each of these really in subsequent videos. We'll take a deeper dive into them. But at the very least, they're going to go look at your Facebook page and they're going to see what kind of content do you post. Do you have like really strong political beliefs? Are you some kind of activist? Are you something that might scare somebody off because of your posts? Now, maybe you do that intentionally. There's some value in being polarizing to a certain extent. But they at least want to know you have a presence on at least the big ones. Facebook, you should have a decent Google My Business listing that comes up automatically. Maybe Twitter, maybe LinkedIn. Instagram is becoming increasingly popular. So a strong online social presence means you post content at least more than once a month, and the content is relevant. It is something that looks like a legitimate healthcare provider would be posting. Final piece, and probably the most important piece, are online reviews. We also know from this research that most people, almost everyone, like 81, 82%, I think it's 82% of people who are referred to you, even from their primary care doctor, if they got a referral, and that's a pretty trusted relationship with their primary care doctor, right? Even if they get a referral, they're still going to go online and look up the reviews and ratings that other patients have given about your practice. Everybody does it. It's the world we live in. I guarantee you have done that too. Anytime you've needed to go buy a new product or a service, you're likely going online to see what other people have written about it. What kind of experience did other people have? Well, if your reviews are not strong, I think it was, I'll find the stat here before too long. I think it's 90% of people said that they changed their mind about using a doctor because of bad, poor, or even weak online reviews, meaning you just don't have many at all. Again, if you are really a big healthcare provider who is legitimate and you've been serving the community for a long time, you should have lots of good patient testimonials. Doesn't need to be 100%. As a matter of fact, they expect to see at least one or two people that aren't happy because you can't please everybody, but they definitely need to see. The average person looks for 10, a minimum of 10 good online reviews before they feel like they can trust you. So those are the elements that you really need to be paying attention to. And if you're having a high no-show rate at your appointments, this is the first place we always go and look. This is where you need to go and look and see, all right, what do I look like when people are looking us up online? Because you'll be shocked at some of the things you'll find. It's surprising that doesn't naturally occur to most doctors, to most practice owners, but now that I've said it, it kind of does make sense, right? Yeah, maybe I should go and look and see what I look like online. I promise that can make a huge difference, especially over the long run. So when we're doing any kind of strategic planning with the doctors and clients that we work with, that's one of the things that's always a significant element of it. We have a whole online presence audit that we go through that looks really in detail at all of those things and more and says, all right, how are we looking overall? Because that's going to have a huge impact on your bottom line over the long run. So hopefully that will begin to open your eyes about some of the things that you should be looking at. As always, I appreciate your time here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Be sure to like or subscribe to these videos, and you'll be sure to get the rest of them as well. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.